and it is now my pleasure to share with you the highlight stories of our 3 distinguished groups of honorees. Each group brings something extraordinary to the work. First, Dr. Medina and Charles Popper. They are the recipients of our Guest of Honor Award. Please join us as we acknowledge them in the audience. Can we see the Poppers, please? Good morning, good morning. Let's have a virtual cheer for the Poppers. And now we're going to watch a video which will share their story with you. Please turn your attention to the video.
I first learned about Project S.A.R.A.H about 10 or 15 years ago. I was the administrator of the Englewood Mikveh, and later I was the president also. I was asked to have our mikveh attendants come to a meeting which would improve their ability to recognize possible signs of abuse in the mikveh situation. I was always so impressed at the outpourings of concern and the questions from the attendants. In other words, what a need there was for this information to get out to them. At one of the meetings, they previewed 2 short videos, each one of them depicting a warning sign of potential abuse in a dating situation. I saw how these videos could be so effective in their video format as opposed to a regular teacher-student setting, and it would be quite effective for our modern generation of young people that are very impressed with whatever goes on the screens. I realized that if you're serious about decreasing domestic abuse, you must have prevention as well as counseling. And this need also Project S.A.R.A.H had addressed. The training, which I had gone to for mikveh attendants, was being done in other job settings also, many others. They give training sessions in schools, in camps, in hospitals, in shelters, for first responders, for shadchanim, and for kala teachers. And they provide kosher kits for shelters. And of course, they are excelling at their primary mission, which is to provide devoted and concerned counseling to any Jewish victim of domestic abuse in the state of New Jersey, with a focus on Orthodox Jewish clients.
As Medina said, Project S.A.R.A.H does amazing work, and there's a lot more work to be done. That's especially true today in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. I know from my professional work as a management consultant, talking to many companies around the country, that mental illness in general and issues of domestic abuse and domestic violence have been increasing because of the economic pressure, the health pressure, the fact that families are cooped up together. We've also seen statistics. New York State has said that in March, there's a 15% increase in domestic violence, and in April that went up to 30% increase. So that's out there in the broader community, and we know from our experience, sadly, that the Jewish community and the Orthodox Jewish community are not immune to these same forces, but that the same issues of domestic abuse and domestic violence are present in our community, which makes Project S.A.R.A.H's work even more important in these troubling times.
At this time, when the world is facing a pandemic, a disease run amok, which is forcing so many to be in homes and not leave, this organization is needed more than ever. Can you imagine what it would be like to be stuck in a home, in an abusive relationship, alone, without support? The Torah commands us, Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. Don't stand by when you see an individual whose blood might be shed. You have an obligation to help out when someone else is facing danger. Anyone who supports Project S.A.R.A.H at this moment is fulfilling this sacred Jewish charge of caring for lives, of being concerned for others, of treasuring every Jewish life. It is a privilege to recognize Dr. Charles and Dr. Medina Popper. The Poppers are devoted to Jewish life. That's evidenced through Medina's devotion to mikveh through Charles' teaching classes in the shuls that he's been a part of, to their devotion to Tefillah B'Kavana, to their devotion to Talmud Torah and to Daf Yomi, to their devotion to their family, and devotion to Project S.A.R.A.H, amongst many other worthy causes.
It is a privilege and a pleasure to pay tribute to such special people, beloved friends, Medina and Charles Popper. They are exactly what any organization deserves in supporters and honorees. For more than 40 years, long before I ever came here to Englewood, they have been involved in so many different aspects of our community and have given so much of their time, their expertise, and their passion to building so many of the various institutions that we now enjoy here in our Jewish community in Englewood. The two of them together are simply doers, and they go about what they do so quietly and with such humility and class. Mazel tov to Charlie and Medina, kol hakavod to you, and kol hakavod to Project S.A.R.A.H.
Charles and Medina Popper have played a critical role in the development of the Jewish community in Englewood. Everything that they've done has been l'shem shamayim. The values of securing the home and chesed have marked their entire career. They really are in every respect extraordinary. My wife Sarah and I consider them the closest of friends, and we wish them that they should have many years of simcha and nachas from their wonderful family.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your stepping up to be our honorees and being with us this morning. Rabbi and Mrs. Feldman are the recipients of our Rabbinic Supporters Award. Rabbi Feldman is the rabbi of Congregation S.A.R.A.H in Teaneck. He's a Rosh Yeshiva at Yeshiva University, an instructor at Cy Sims, executive editor of the Ritz Initiative of the YU Press, an advisor to ORA. His wife, Leah, is a social worker and administrator at the Beit Midrash of Teaneck. Please join us in acknowledging them and imagine a virtual round of applause in your honor. Thank you. And now if you could turn your attention to the video introducing you in a better way to the Feldmans. Thank you.
One of the most important messages of the period of Sfiras HaOmer leading up to Shavuos is that we are not ready to receive the Torah unless we know how to treat others with respect. And respect starts at home. We need to have households that are characterized and defined by respect, and respect in all forms, and a aversion to abuse in all forms, whether it's verbal abuse of any kind, and certainly not physical abuse or even the hint of physical abuse. The rabbis tell us that one who would even suggest violence to another, even if he doesn't carry it out, is worthy of serious condemnation. And we are very blessed to have an organization in New Jersey such as Project S.A.R.A.H, which sets a tone of respect for all of our households and is there for us when, God forbid, things go bad or things need to be addressed, and to provide support and resources and everything that's needed to make sure that these situations are addressed effectively and sensitively and in every fashion necessary to make sure that we are a community that's worthy of accepting the Torah.
I will just add how fortunate the rabbis and rabbitans of New Jersey are to have a resource such as Project S.A.R.A.H to turn to as we encounter areas of vulnerability and conflict in our schools and communities.
When I heard that my parents were being honored by Project S.A.R.A.H, it reminded me how grateful and lucky I am to be raised in a home that has always emphasized mutual respect and concern for others. My parents are and always have been my role models in this. We're so glad that we have this opportunity of this event to emphasize the importance of these issues and all the good work that Project S.A.R.A.H does.
I'm very proud of my parents and Project S.A.R.A.H's work to help make the community a healthier and safer place for everyone. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov, Mommy and Abba.
Leah and Rabbi Daniel Feldman are among the most selfless people that I know. Our community is profoundly blessed to have them as leaders. They are not only extraordinary teachers who succeed in imparting their wisdom and their experience, but perhaps more importantly, they are exemplary role models, and they are champions of chesed and of kindness. More than anything else, Project S.A.R.A.H is committed to providing a place and a voice for individuals who feel stuck, individuals who feel in need and as if they have nowhere and no one to turn to. Rabbi and Rebbitzin Feldman are so aligned with that mission. They devote an immeasurable amount of their own time to assist those who are in need of direction, support, assistance, resources, and perhaps more than anything else, an open ear and a loving heart. Rabbi and Rebbitzin Feldman, we thank you on behalf of the entire community for your incredible, selfless devotion and leadership. And may HaKadosh Baruch Hu continue to bless you with the ability to lead our community and to assist all those in need for many years to come.
Thank you so much, Rabbi and Mrs. Feldman. Our last award is being given for the first time to a group of young people, the students of Kahal, a student-run tzedakah at the Frisch High School in Paramus, New Jersey. These students raise funds during Hanukkah, and they select organizations to be the recipients of their fund drive. Their selection of Project S.A.R.A.H is an inspiration to us and to others, and a message of faith in the energy and possibility of young people. The students raised $22,000 on behalf of Project S.A.R.A.H and helped bring us very close to our goal this morning of $100,000. Please join us in acknowledging the presence of Rabbi Joshua Schulman, the faculty advisor to Kahal. Cheer for you and great job with your students. Please turn your attention to the video on the screen. Thank you, Rabbi Schulman.
Chesed is a pillar of our yeshiva. I am deeply proud of our students for all of their efforts on behalf of Project S.A.R.A.H. The great work that Project S.A.R.A.H does creates a safer community for all of our children.
Every year, our students select a few key causes during our annual Kahal Hanukkah Tzedakah Drive. This year, they decided to choose Project S.A.R.A.H because it's a local tzedakah whose work in the community, educating and promoting healthy relationships, resonated with them and felt like a cause that was close to home.
At Frisch, one of our core 4 values is community of kindness. This value is beautifully reflected in our annual Kahal Hanukkah Tzedakah Drive. Every year, our students raise tens of thousands of dollars for important organizations in our community.
We decided to give the money to Project S.A.R.A.H because Project S.A.R.A.H is an incredible organization that helps people in abusive relationships and educates people on having healthy relationships.
The administration tells us from the moment we walk in on freshman retreat that if there was a 5th of the core 4 values, it would be meaningful relationships. It is even written on the base of the paw on our student IDs.
Project S.A.R.A.H goes into elementary schools to teach young children how to stay safe, protect their bodies, and use the internet safely, and comes into high school like Frisch to talk to students about healthy relationships and how to make sure we create a safer and more aware community. Through the creativity of the fellow students at Frisch, we were able to raise thousands of dollars this year for Project S.A.R.A.H and to contribute to this amazing and worthwhile cause.
They're on the front lines, both by helping people who are already stuck in abusive relationships, as well as educating the community about how to create and maintain healthy relationships.
We feel fortunate to be able to partner with them in their critical work and hope that the funds raised will allow them to continue to meet the various needs of the community for many years to come.
Thank you so much. Your work and your children inspire us. This has been an extraordinary opportunity to have our Project S.A.R.A.H breakfast virtually. But do not think for one moment that it is the same as being in a room, feeling the warmth of a hug, the touch of a hand, the invitation of a smile. The victims of domestic violence often feel that they live in a virtual world, one in which they are seen, but they can't be touched. Each of you today offers them the opportunity to reach across the screens of secrecy and shame that keep them inaccessible. We thank you and our extraordinary group of volunteers. The chair people of this breakfast, Aviva Distenfeld, Judith Halpern, Michelle Ritholtz, their committee, who have helped us move from the virtual to the real. If you were moved by anything you heard this morning, if you feel curious or need help, please reach out. We'll be happy to accept donations. We will respond to your questions, and we will all be here for you as we move forward together. We wish you safety and good health in the days ahead. And thank you for honoring us with your presence at this breakfast. Good morning.